Hey guys, before we start this week's episode of BTB, I want to give a bit of a disclaimer and a heads up. So, this week's episode talks about the mentions of guns, suicide, and death threats for Billie Jean. If you are sensitive to these topics, viewer discretion is advised. Again, it's no problem. We'll see you guys in next week's episode. If you are a younger audience member and this might not be suitable for you, again, it's not a problem. We'll see you guys in next week's episode. Just thought I would give you guys a little bit of a heads up to those who are a bit sensitive to this kind of stuff. But yeah, viewer discretion is advised. Now, let's get into this week's episode.
Hey. It's the girls, Briea and Chisa. We're back with episode 4 of Behind the Broadcast. Whoop whoop. This week we're going to be covering the ever iconic, super classic, really, really cool Billie Jean. And I'm Cher, bitch.
And I'm Cher, bitch.
There we go, we finally got it. So the last episode you guys saw from us was our good old gal Pat Benatar. And before you ask, no, I don't know what we were on for the entirety of that episode. The ghost in Bria's room overtook us. That's the best answer I can give you.
And then my mother decided to come in.
We had our first special guest.
That's my mother, everybody, if you didn't watch last week's episode.
Wait, she didn't watch or she's in it?
No, she's in it.
Oh, okay.
No,
Oh, I knew that. I just heard you say, I thought I heard you say something different. Apparently my ears aren't working today, but what's new?
No, you're good. My mom was like, don't put me in that. And I'm like, oh, you know I'm putting you in that. She's like, no.
Special guest. She's the best, the best special first guest. That is such a hard sentence that we could have asked for. Best special first guest. Best special first guest. Best special first.
And I've embodied Michael Jackson for this week's episode. Can you tell by my hat?
To make up for the fact that she didn't have a Pat Benatar wig last week, much to my dismay.
No, I know, but I am Billie Jean. I am Michael Jackson.
But she's not my lover. It's the girl who claims I am. Alright, enough singing. This is about Michael Jackson, not about me. I hate when that happens.
Alright.
So anyways, this man obviously needs no introduction, but for the sake of fully providing context, here goes. Michael Jackson was born to parents Joe Jackson and Catherine Jackson on August 29th, 1958 in Gary, Indiana. He was actually the 8th child, which I knew they had like a lot of siblings in this family, but like just like thinking about having 8 siblings blows my mind. It's a lot.
Yeah. Little Toya, Janet, Randy.
Tito, Jermaine. Is there only 8? I wouldn't know. I should know.
There's only 8.
I did 3. Well, there we go. And then Michael. We did it. So, Michael Jackson got his start in 1964 with their family band Jackson 5. Don't know if you heard about them. They're pretty lit. You should check them out. They're alright.
Yeah.
But anyways, that was the year that him and his brother Marlon joined their fellow siblings Jackie, Tito, and Jermaine, creating the band. They signed to Motown Records in 1968, which is important, and remember that for later. And then they later signed with Epic Records in 1975. One lit thing that I found out that I did not know prior, that they had a song called Dancing Machine, and that's actually the song that made the robot popular. But you didn't know that? I didn't know that. Now you know that. The more you know. It's gonna be my favorite on the show. Save it in your post-editing software.
So their first #1 song was I Want You Back in 1970. I want you back.
Baby, give me one more chance.
Tell me that I love you.
Won't you please let me?
Yeah. Sorry, I'll stop.
I
Anyway,
don't think there's a he in that song. I don't think he had fully developed his he yet.
back to Michael himself. His first his first 4 solo albums were released under Motown. Ah, love Motown. Got to Be There, 1972. Ben, I'm reading that right, 1972. Music and Me, 1973. And Forever Michael in 1975, which I have big, vivid memories of listening to growing up.
Aww.
I do. I love that album. His 5th album, Off the Wall, love that album. Was the one which really established him as a solo artist. It had 4 number 1 entries: Off the Wall, She's Out of My Life, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, as playing it basically at every school dance imaginable, and Rock With You all night. Okay. The album reached under its album. Oh my God. The album itself reached under number 3 on the Billboard 200 and sold over 20 million copies worldwide, which is an amazing feat considering this was 1979. Oh, this was 1979. Michael, feeling as though Off the Wall didn't make it big enough, make it big. Can I speak today? Oh my God. Make a big enough impact, was determined to come back and exceed all expectations placed upon him. And boy, did he come back. In 1982, he released the one and only Thriller, which we will cover, album, which features the song we are talking about today, Billie Jean, which we're covering today, in addition to many other smash hits like Beat It, Wanna Be Starting Something, PYT, Pretty Young Thing, and of course, Thriller. Thriller became the best-selling album worldwide in 1983, and then became the best-selling album of all time in the US, and eventually the best-selling album of all time worldwide, selling an estimated 70 million copies.
Hooray.
So, yeah, like, can we also talk about, like, while we're on the topic of the background of Michael Jackson, can we talk about how just like all the like he went through?
I feel so bad. Some of this that we're about to go through on this episode, while I was researching it, I was reading it, and I was like, dude, that's so sad. Like, nobody deserves that. Like,
His father abused him. Like, he basically didn't have a childhood because he was part of the Jackson 5 since he's been what, like 9, 10? Maybe even younger than that.
yeah.
No, but like that poor guy. And then he's just like growing up, and then there's a thing about how he like molested children, which I don't believe.
A lot of the victims came forward and said that they were paid off to say that and stuff like that.
I don't believe that because in the psychologically, like he didn't have a childhood. He probably just like genuinely loved kids and probably wanted to see them have a childhood because he didn't.
Yeah.
Like, I find that so just messed up that people said he molested children because I don't think that's true at all. I mean, look, people might disagree with me, but I don't think
Yeah.
that's the case.
Yeah. Who knows?
He's oh my God. I have a few artists that I wish that could come back from the dead. And one, obviously, Michael Jackson. I wish he could come back because he was like one of the most influential people in my life. Like Michael Jackson, I wish that Juice WRLD would come back. He died so young. Because that man really knew how to write and get in your feels. But Michael Jackson, Juice WRLD, who do I wish that came back from the dead? I wish Elvis came back. But there's like speculation that he's still living, which I fully believe. I fully believe that Elvis is still alive and he has been alive, and I feel like he's been hiding somewhere.
In the Denver airport.
In the Denver. See, now you know about the conspiracy about the Denver
Girl,
airport.
I've been living here my whole life. Of course I know. Like, welcome to like my middle school talk of the town.
So that scary blue horse.
Lucifer, Lucifer,
Lucifer.
Lucifer.
The how like oh my god, how there's like end of the world paintings all over the airport. Oh my god.
They were creepy, but I kind of miss them, low-key.
Did they get rid of them?
Yeah,
They did?
they gentrified the airport.
Oh. See, that's bad.
And while they were under construction, they had like all of these signs up that had like aliens on them, and they're like renovating for our newest project, and they were like
I
nodding to like all these like conspiracy theories, and I'm like, you're not helping your reputation at all by doing that, but whatever.
no, literally, like that is probably that's tourist income. How dare you get rid of that? That's like I'm thinking in benefit of you, babes. Like
Well, I mean, honestly, like the murals aren't even the scariest part. Like I've actually seen the like my goal is to live to 2099 because they have this like time capsule inside the airport and the plaque on the time capsule reads commissioned by the New World Order, open in 2099. I'm convinced inside of it's just like a big red button that blows up like all of the highways.
just like
Yeah. Don't touch the red button.
don't touch the red button. Most likely, I feel like that would be you and me. That would be you and me.
Well, no, because I like road trips. If I blow up all the highways, where would I go?
Yeah, you would be like,
I got a
Briea.
Subaru, so I can off road, so it's fine. But like,
You would be like, if you and me ever came across the red button, I'd be like, don't
who's gonna
touch it.
push it? You or me?
And then like we look at each other and be like, I'm be like,
I dare you to push it.
they're like, no, yeah, no, you would be no, you wouldn't be the one to be like, don't do it. You'd be like, do it, push it.
Yeah, probably.
You'd be like, push it, Billy. We're all gonna die anyway. We're all gonna die anyway. So like, just push it and see what happens.
Oh my god, just push it. Just do it.
What if you blow it? What if you push it and then just confetti comes out of it?
That would be lit. See, and then you would regret not popping the confetti button, and then that's why you push the button.
It's like random dancing. The whole airport just goes into random dancing by R. Carly.
Out into like freaking what's that song? Party rockers in the house tonight.
Yeah, Muddy Rockers in the house tonight. Or it just plays "I'm sexy and you know it." I'm sexy and you know it. Doom 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 doom.
Oh my god, a bop. I forgot about that one.
I listened to Cobra Starship today and I thought of you.
Hey, oh, that's the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me. Okay, that was you telling me to go. Okay, let me figure out where we are. I got a little lost. All right.
Not the carrot. The one carrot.
It's not a carrot. It's in my chapstick.
Oh my god! I thought it was a carrot.
Fooled ya. Gotcha.
I thought it... Go ahead.
Okay, all right.
Go on.
So Billie Jean was the second single off of Thriller, and it was written and co-produced by good old MJ and QJ. Quincy Jones. In case you didn't know what that abbrev was. Okay, this is my favorite story about this song. So Michael first got the idea while he was like on a break from the studio, and he was just like driving around, and had the song stuck in his head. He was like sitting there like boom, 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 as he does, doing his little like his little like mouth noises and his like little breaths and whatnot. But he was so in his brain writing this song that he didn't know his car was on fire. So somebody pulled him over and was like, "Yo, dude, your car's on fire." And he's like, "Really? I was so busy writing the next smash hit of the century that I like didn't even know my car was on fire. LOL." Which is kind of like sometimes you just get in the zone while you're driving and you're just like, "Oh, is my car smoking or am I?" Right, so he was so enraptured by these thoughts of song ideas in his head that he hadn't noticed his Rolls Royce was on fire, but then luckily somebody pulled him over and alerted him and let him know, and the King of Pop was saved. The end of episode. Bye, see you next week. Just kidding. They actually, more about this song, they made over 91 different mixes of this song before settling on a modified version of the second one. Just crazy, because I make like 3 mixes and I'm like, this one, that's fine, just send it. I get so sick of like working on songs by the end of the process that I'm like, just do it, I don't care. So, all right. So this is my least favorite story that I found while doing research about this, though. So Michael Jackson says the lyrics of Billie Jean were inspired by claims he saw groupies making about his older brothers while on tour with Jackson 5. But according to the person who wrote his biography, J. Randy Taraborelli, Billie Jean was inspired by letters that Michael received in 1981 from a woman who made the infamous paternity claim, and he regularly received letters of this nature, but this woman continued to send letters telling him that she loved him and she wanted to be with him and asking him how he could ignore his own flesh and blood. And these letters like disturbed him so much that he began to suffer from nightmares about them, rightfully so, because he eventually received a package containing a picture of said woman, a gun, and a letter instructing him to like unalive himself at a particular time. And in said letter, she said that she would do the same once she had unalived their baby so that they could be together in the next life. Which is some creepy stuff.
Oh my
And
God.
yeah, when I read that, I was just like, that's so sad because just like,
Oh, Billie Jean is
imagine,
not my son. Oh, I
yeah, so
figured.
he claimed probably to save face, probably to like save himself from this crazy lady. He was like, "Yeah, there's a lot of Billie Jeans out there. This is about all the women I saw my brothers like having to deal with, but like apparently he had quite a few of his own, and this one like kind of took it too far. Like I don't know, just fan mail, man, can get a little
Death threats.
yeah. It's just weird how dehumanized, I guess, celebrities become by the people that obsess over them. You know, like it's a very slippery slope, and those parasocial relationships, man, that's a doozy.
Death threats. Not fun.
Or just like somebody sending you a gun to like,
Unalive yourself.
yeah,
You know,
like
no.
what is this? Like Romeo and Juliet? Like no. But okay, so yeah.
You
Long,
could.
end of the story, end of that story. The Jacksons later found out that she had been sent to a psychiatric hospital. Hopefully she got the help she needs, you know,
Mhm.
because yeah, it's sad to see people struggle like that and like yeah, hopefully that baby's safe, you feel me?
Oh God, no, literally. I mean, probably like we don't know where Billie Jean is now. So where is Billie Jean? Like that's the question. Where is Billie Jean? Is Billie Jean the baby's real name? Probably, probably not. We don't know. It's like, is there a real Billie Jean? That's the question. Where is he?
Where is he at? I want a few words.
Where's he at? Where's Billie Jean?
Drama.
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 Drama. Milady.
You turned into like 20 different people with this hat on. It's kind of like the sorting hat, but like with personalities.
It's the sorting hat.
Yeah. It gets on your head and it just starts talking.
My house is Gryffindor. What's yours? Where are we?
His performance of the song on Motown. Remember, we said Motown is very important. I told you, remember Motown. His performance on the song on Motown's 25th year celebration broadcast not only earned him an Emmy nomination, but was the first time he showcased many parts of what we remember his artistry and brand to be consistent up to this day, including the famous moonwalk and the infamous bedazzled white gloves and the black jacket. That's where he premiered it all. Let me tell you, I watched this performance though, and I like actually cried. Like he is such an incredible
He is.
performer. Once in a millennia, like talent.
Yeah.
It's just
That man was truly blessed. Okay. So again, sorry, I just got it back. So about the video, a little bit kind of like a little bit of the history of the physical video in itself. It pretty much opened doors to many more artists of color to follow. So Billie Jean was actually directed by Steve Barron. It was the first music video by a Black artist to be aired on a heavy rotation on MTV. The technical first video to do so was Pass the Dutchie by Musical Youth. Am I saying that right? Oh, yeah. But obviously, it did not become as synonymous with the channel as Billie Jean did. In the book, your famous book, DJ, when that should shine a light on, everybody should go get it. By the original five, MTV's VJs They say that there was originally a resistance to putting up Billie Jean into rotation. Rick James was the first to call them out on this practice, but MTV had of not airing Black artists as they rejected his video for Super Freak in rotation. I don't know why, but also in the book VJ, and the book VJ's claim that this was a decision not made out of racism, but due to MTV being primarily rock focused, which we talked about in before episodes, which we talked about, I believe, about oh my God, Patty Pooh Benatar, right?
And I think we touched on it in the first episode a little bit too.
Yeah, we did. So they later go on to reveal that Walter, oh God, this is another name I'm going to butcher. Yeknikoff, who is head of CBS Records, who owns Epic, which Michael was signed to, had refused to let any of the other artists play on MTV until Michael was entered into the rotation. Great ultimatum. Like, you better put him up there.
Like, if you're not gonna play Michael Jackson, we're not giving you any videos. Sorry.
Yeah, like seriously. This ended up working as it should, as this was the shift away from MTV focusing primarily on rock music and led to not only diversifying but top 40fying the channel. Excuse me. But the video was not aired on MTV until it was already a #1 hit, which was smart. Though our boy Les Garland, who we talked about in the first episode, who ran the network, said that they loved the video and immediately played it as soon as they could. Other claims from another book written about the early MTV radio days called I Want My MTV. Thank you, Chisa, for all of the good book recommendations.
My sources.
And said that the network originally wanted to air Beat It because it was supposedly like fit their format better because Eddie Van Halen had played on it. So whatever. Our boy Van Halen.
Yeah, they can claim what they want in retrospect. It's fine. There's a lot of discrepancy surrounding this video and why they wouldn't air it on TV.
Well,
we will let the revisionist history do its thing.
Yeah, no, literally. So, I mean, I'm trying to think, like they said they didn't air it out of racism, but
it's not a rock video, so we can't air it, sorry. And then that's when Walter Yetnikoff was like, you're gonna air it, or I'm not gonna give you any more music videos to air at all. And then what are you gonna do, MTV? Air reality shows?
Yeah. Yeah, no, the shade you just threw.
I know. I was wondering if the ominous sarcasm was resonating through the camera. Okay, yeah, so let's talk about the video itself now. So it opens with the photographer, a little paparazzi, following Mr. Michael, mesmerized as we all are by his Midas touch. The sidewalk lights up as Michael dances and walks across it, and everything he touches radiates light, much like his actual effervescence and real life star power.
Facts.
Just a star, baby. It's just a
star. My little Kendall.
You're doing so good, sweetie.
My little Kendall fits right in perfectly. Like, shut up, Joe.
Oh god, and not the Dance Moms reference. I thought it was a Kris Jenner reference, and then it clicked. I was like, oh wait, no, I know that.
Shut up, Joe.
Oh man.
Every single time Jill's I'm like, Jill, just stop.
Stick us walking it.
So when the paparazzi tries to take a picture of Michael, he does not appear in the image. Puzzled and perplexed, the photographer continues to try and follow him. Oh no! You look very perplexed right now.
What did you just say?
You look very complex right now.
What is that impression? Oh my god, we just read a...
Okay, alright, for seriousness. You want to give us the recap of the video? So, like, after he takes the picture and he goes real ghost and he doesn't show up in the picture, he does some more dancing. He does his little moonwalk. Then he crawls up the ladder, fire escape thing. And then that old woman, doing what old women do best, calls the police.
The po-po.
Busy Poe.
The po-po.
And then, I'm trying to make sure I remember this correctly. Oh yeah, the photographer follows him to the fire escape. He climbs into bed with what we believe to be Billie Jean. And the photographer tries to take a picture of it, and then he just disappears.
Sorry.
At some point, he drops a little shoe shine rag that turns into my cat. And then my cat steals the show, and then the music video is over. Oh, and then the paparazzi gets taken away by the police.
He's just dancing and doing his thing.
Yeah, he's just being Michael.
Okay, so like before we kind of get into more chaoticness, because I can already tell you that this is the energy for today's episode. I didn't expect it to go this chaotic again. So I'll do it. So again, we'll talk about a little bit more of the video right after we get to this point. Or kind of our thoughts on it. So Billie Jean, kind of in the modern context, the song re-entered the Billboard Hot 100 because of a viral video of a high schooler imitating his performance of Motown 25. I think I've seen this. Through Michael is one of the artists whose music will remain timeless and always relevant and doesn't need the padding of a short-lived viral resurgence.
Period.
But what I'm saying is that Michael Jackson kind of has like this nostalgic feeling for all of us.
Yet the music is so timeless. Make it make sense.
Like it's just so like it reminds you of a specific time, but at the same time, like it fits in to pop today. It will never like get old.
He's the king of pop for a reason. So what do you think about Billie Jean? What's your personal take on the video?
For me, I don't know what it just like there's something very like nostalgic or like memorable for it. Like it seems like I'm just looking at like the colors.
It's giving like film noir a little bit.
Ah, that's it. I couldn't put I couldn't put it like the word on my tongue. I couldn't put the word on my tongue, but it looks so I'm just, you know what? It looks like film noir, but I'm also looking at the way like they set it up. It looks like it's on a film set. And it probably is, but it looks very like theater-ish.
Yeah, definitely.
It looks like very like theater-ish, like it's taken from a set on a stage.
Yeah, I think I wasn't really sure when I was doing my research. I was reading about it. They like painted like a glass green or something. I think for like the backdrop part.
I can see it. I'm looking at it. But there's some scenes where it doesn't seem that way at all. Like for example, when he's running up the stairs, that looks like it was shot. It probably was on location, but the rest don't look like it was shot on location. Like it looks like it was from very, again, theater set-ish. I also think, in my opinion, I think just like the way the colors are, they seem so like not even retro. It's like a very I'm looking at where it's in the video. I'm looking at where it says like Ronald's. I'm looking at the sign and you're talking to somebody who's an like studio art as well. So I'm just looking in terms of like the colors and the browns and the purples. It's very like Joker and Batman-ish. That's what I'm getting. Like it's very like not Arkham or Gotham. I'm talking about like very much in that sense. They're very muted colors, and I like how that portrays kind of the theme of the song as we spoke about before, in terms of like, you know, sending the gun and then like our child, because it's a very kind of sad story in a way. No, it is a sad story. So I
love songs like that. I love the juxtaposition of like sadness versus like
then it turns into a bop. I can see why they did that, and that was a good way to kind of describe it. They did a great job in those muted colors to feel kind of the like sense of kind of dark, worry,
Yeah,
concern. They did a
somebody
great
said
job with
that the
that.
song sounds like an anxiety attack.
Yeah.
Like I love that. That's the thing I love about music videos too, is that it's like such a good like visual metaphor and representation of like what songs
Hmm.
are
Yeah.
supposed to feel like, or like what the original intention of it is. I love being able to like use a medium like film to be able to portray even more of like a story that you capture in music.
Yeah. I also feel I'm also just looking, I'm just going through the video as we speak. The significance, I'm just I have to take one. I have to take one out. The significance of the guy in the trench coat and hat who's kind of following Michael around in the video. I feel like that's also kind of symbolism for the woman he was trying to avoid.
And just
So,
like the pressures of like society as a whole, and like how they're always like waiting for him to slip up, and like he's on this pedestal and they're waiting to like catch him in that moment and they never do.
hmm.
Fucking brilliant video.
No, it was, and a lot of the thing is that I don't think a lot of people would pick up on it. They just know they just know Billie Jean as, oh, the Michael Jackson song where he's where the guy's following him with a trench coat, and then, um, like following him with a trench coat. Oh, it's the video like, oh, Michael in a trench coat video, or with the guy with the trench coat video. Like but they don't really kind of think of it as, why is he in a trench coat? Who does he symbolize, or who does that man symbolize in the sunglasses? And the
Yeah.
fact that you can't see who is behind those sunglasses is a great representation of him not only trying to avoid the woman, but at first he didn't know who, like, what this woman kind of looked like, unless, like, throw like fast forward to when he physically got the picture. So that was a great way to symbolize that.
I think a lot of us were so young when we first saw this video that I think it's easy to not have the like literary, what's the word I'm looking for, like cognizance, so to speak, of like
Yeah.
watching it through that frame. Because I just remember being like, oh my god, he's such a good dancer, and the tiles are lighting up, cool. Like, and I never really thought about the like significance of each thing. Because like this was when Michael's on freaking fire too. So like when he like tosses that coin into the homeless man's can, and like the homeless man just like has a glow up, like it's a really like poignant take on like fame, I think, and like both the beautiful things that come with it and like the downside of it too.
Yeah, I also feel like you talked about the symbolism of the cat.
Mm.
If you notice at the end of the video, I'm looking right now, is that there's three people who are walking together, link arm in arm. They drop something. It looks like, I'm just trying to figure it out. It what are they dropping?
Was that when they dropped the like handkerchief? Because he used like a little like towel of some sort to wipe his shoes off earlier in the video.
So what I'm saying, that it was the towel that was kind of that wiped off the shoes, but they dropped it in the middle of the sidewalk. And I'm looking, and the cat that we saw before turned into a tiger. So that's also a great representation to represent kind of the feline desire of a woman.
Mm.
The very feminine, or at the same time, very kind of like, what was the thing we did last episode? Arrgh. Yeah, we did that. That. Very much that. Very much like kind of clawing at him, clawing at like his anxiety, clawing away at his anxiety, clawing away as his safety, number one priority. And then kind of the handkerchief was a great representation of, he wiped his shoes, dropped it, and the tiger picks it up. It's picking up the woman is kind of picking up all the evidence she can find to go follow him.
Mm.
So I think that's my thoughts.
I like that we can get such different like takes on it from watching the same video too. Is like that people can like analyze it differently, and like because I
Hmm.
didn't really think too much of that. I was like, okay, so like there's cat, and then it turns into like the handkerchief turns into cat, and like that's the same thing that he like got from her room, and they're like the incriminating evidence of it all. But I didn't really think too much of it when I first
Yeah.
watched.
Well, unless you know the story, which a lot of people don't know about Billie Jean, it won't make sense. Because then if you watch the video and then you're like, oh, there's a cat, cute, tiger, oh,
Me.
there's like a
My
cat,
kitty.
oh, kitty. But like it's like that, and then not a lot of people are gonna know representation or the kind of the kind of symbolism of the story. And it's so well hidden in the video. It's done so discreetly.
Mhm.
So it's done. They did a marvelous job.
Round of applause for them.
So, yeah, no, there's great symbolism of him being watched in this video. Like I'm looking at the guy with the sunglasses. Actually, there's more. I think there's more than one man that is wearing a trench coat and sunglasses and a hat that's following him around. Like, for example, he's looking over the bed in the hotel, and then the guy's taking a picture of him as he's looking down. And then, hold on. Now he's getting in it. He's getting in the bed to hide himself.
But then he disappears.
And then he disappears. Can't find him. I guess, you know what? I think that's all of our thoughts. I think we don't have any thoughts for Billie Jean.
No thoughts, brain empty.
Brain empty. So,
I've been having my 80s resurgence since we've been doing this.
You're welcome. Can you see why I've fallen in love with it?
I mean, I always appreciated it. But like I see all your references now. I'm like, oh my God, that's so briea coded. I can't believe she invented the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I reference a lot of things, a lot of like past things in music videos too myself. I do use a lot of references and subtle references, and people don't get it. And then I have to explain it to them. And then it gets annoying because I don't want to explain it to them, but like there's history involved in it.
That's the thing, like people don't have that like media literacy like we were talking about. They just want to be like distracted by pretty colors. They
for example, like I'm okay, maybe I shouldn't spoil this. Well, I said we were talking about it. Spoiler alert for future songs coming in things. So, well,
that's my spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. So look, well, it's not like Chisa and I, as well as do the podcast, we work on music too. So it's not like you're just my co-host, no. But like
I actually don't know you. Who are you?
Who are you?
Yeah. Oh?
Oh,
there's some oh my God, I can't even talk. A random strange chick from Jersey in my room. What's going on?
There's a New Jersey in my room, help.
There's a Jersey girl in my room. Get out.
Okay, well, I was saying before is that, like, for example, like referencing things. But like, for example, I'm working on a song that's up and coming. I'm not gonna show you what it is exactly. Chisa knows. Don't you dare spoil it.
All right, you can't give them any more details on that.
All right. Just so you know, I have 2 songs in the works that'll be coming in the next few months.
Okay. Okay. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in to this also really chaotic episode behind the broadcast. I'm sure you appreciate our lack of train of thought. We have multiple trains of thought, and they all collide into each other all at once. But hopefully, Post Briea has done a really good job of editing it and making our crazy asses make sense.
Yeah. Thank you.
Shout out to Post Briea.
How you doing?
But yeah, catch you next week.
Yeah.
Behind the broadcast.
We'll see you guys next week. I'm your host, Briea.
And I'm your host, Chisa.
Thank you for dealing with us in this chaotic episode. Our brains are empty and our brains are dead, and I'm dead inside. So guess what?
And I'm Cher, bitch.
And I'm Cher, bitch.
And that concludes this episode.
All right. You know what? We'll see you guys next week. Look at my hat. I can't take myself seriously. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.